like that Jack Kirby got the idea to create Galactus. Like he got the idea from God, and the fallen angel is like Silver Surfer.
Yes, sir. Welcome back to Redacted Show. I'm your host, Wafiq or Feek, with my co-host, my other host.
It's your co-host Dana Dane in the building. With that being said, we got some guests. We got some wonderful, some might say incredible guests in the building today. Please introduce yourselves.
All right. That's Jefferson from Everything Movies over here. I'm glad to be on y'all's episode today. Thank you for inviting me.
And peace and
Sure.
blessing world is the one and only Mr. WhySoSerious, aka Jason Holiday. But for today's show and for today's recording, it will be Mr. WhySoSerious. Glad to be a part of this discussion and to talk all things Fantastic Four.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got some familiar faces, got some new faces today. But as Brother So Serious stated earlier, we have a Fantastic Four movie that just dropped. At the time of this recording, it was Thursday when they dropped the the movie. And man, all in all, we're gonna go ahead and get to our non-spoiler review. But before we do that, please make sure you guys are subscribing. Any subscriptions, comments, likes, shares, 5 stars on all listening platforms. We're on all listening platforms. We're there at the Redacted Show. Make sure you guys share us, word of mouth, things of that nature, and also the TikToks and IG Reels. We appreciate all that engagement, all that content sharing. So again, just make sure you guys are spreading that around, getting everybody redacted. But with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into our non-spoiler review. For those who are new and don't know how we do our movie reviews, we start with our non-spoiler reviews, give our overall feelings of the movie, what we liked, things that we noticed, and then our spoiler review towards the end. But does Winnie would like to jump off the porch and get straight to it.
I'll go ahead and start. So, Fantastic Four, directed by Matt Shackman. This dropped, as Dana said, this Thursday as a non-spoiler review. Overall, I really enjoyed the movie. Overall, I really enjoyed it. I thought they did a very good portrayal, a comic accurate portrayal of the Fantastic Four as a family. That was one big emphasis that I think some of the earlier movies didn't incorporate as much as they could have. Earlier iterations, I would say. Um, Overall, I thought it was very good. The Silver Surfer, I think that was my MVP of the movie, personally. Shallow Ball Silver Surfer was the MVP of the movie for me, at least. And Galactus, we finally had somebody that wasn't a cloud. Thank goodness. It was actually Galactus himself. And yeah, I think overall it was a very good movie. I saw it twice. I will say I've seen it twice. I will say the second viewing made me like it more than the first viewing. The first viewing, I was like, okay, it's cool. The second viewing, I was like, oh no, this is good. This is pretty good. But overall, yeah, I think I really enjoyed the movie.
All right, now I wanna hop in. I think overall I agree. Like I enjoyed the movie a lot, and I saw it twice. Just watched it again yesterday.
Not 4 times.
Uh, nah, nah. We're gonna get there when it come out on Disney Plus or whatever subscription. I'm gonna watch it a few more times, but yeah, no. I overall really liked the movie. I thought it was different. Like I thought it was like more of a different Marvel movie. Similar to how Thunderbolts felt, in my opinion. As far as like it just being like not afraid to just be in that typical Marvel movie with. I mean, they did have a big boss battle at the end, but like I thought it I don't know what it is about it, but it was just different, and I really appreciated it. And yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
Brother Serious.
when I think it was either last year or probably 2 years ago. I think it was on Valentine's Day. That's when they announced the cast in a post or something. It was like Happy Valentine's
Mhm.
Day from the cast of the Fantastic Four, and then I saw Pedro Pascal in there and then the other people, and I was just not buying it at all. I was upset with the casting because I really wanted the actor who was in Multiverse of Madness to be Reed Richards. And then as I start to see the trailers and stuff come out and all of that and actually seeing it, I was like, okay, this casting was really good. I felt like it was a very good step up from other Marvel movies that came out this year. It was the best one so far. Casting was on point. I really liked the how the movie, the pace of the movie. It jumped us in the beginning, and I think overall, having said that, because I was a little shaky on Thunderbolts and everything, but the MCU is back and is in good hands if they continue to make films like this one. So I loved this iteration of Fantastic Four.
And without rambling too much, I agree with everything y'all said. If there's a way to start off, your phase 6, basically your last phase before you're gonna reset everything, which they kind of hinted at in this movie through different you know plot points and just themes of the movie and kind of plot devices that we'll talk into in our spoilers talk. But I really enjoyed this movie. I think this was similar to Thunderbolts, like you said, Jeff, in terms like this is still a Marvel movie, but it is in a theme of like space. I got like the vibe of space odyssey, like exploration, and I think they really pushed for that in Max Shagman uh, direction and different things like that. Like you were almost like in all, and it everything kind of tied in together with it being in the 60s, kind of around that time when it was a big space race, and you could see that in this movie, and I really like that. I appreciate that. I really enjoyed the team and just family dynamic of this movie because no one felt bigger than the actual group. Like there's some other things we'll probably get into in our sports talk, but just I feel like there was a lot of rage bait before this movie where it was reports saying, "Oh, actually, Sue Storm is going to be the leader." No, she wasn't. It was definitely Reed, but she was also like an important character. But I didn't get any vibe of like her trying to like lead the group, like be the guy. It was always Reed with the plan, with the action, like always trying to set everyone up and being Reed. And then you have Ben. I think Ben and Johnny are interesting because they had enough to do, but I kind of would have liked them to be given a little bit more. Like I think with Johnny, his portrayal was good because there was some like reportings where they were saying like, "Oh, this Johnny Storm is not gonna be as like sexually like out there like Chris Evans' portrayal was." I'm like, that's not true. He definitely was. Like he was pretty much the playboy of the group, but on one hand, you can kind of see his portrayal as like just someone obsessed with this woman, which we'll kind of get into our spoiler talks. But it was one thing where I liked his portrayal because I feel like this is the first time in big media where we seen at least Johnny like do be more than just like the horn dog. Like he actually was like, like now I see why you was an astronaut. I see why they picked you in this four. Along with like we already know Ben, he was Reed's best friend and a really good pilot, so there's no need there. I would have, and maybe they'll do this in other future Fantastic Fours or maybe in Doomsday, but just Ben's like internal, strife with his appearance because like his whole thing is just he can never be what he once was, and back in the comics, there was after that whole incident happened, like obviously in this movie it's a time skip right now. Kind of rambling a lot. I'm gonna just stop right there because I feel like we're gonna get the spoiler talk. But all in all, I really enjoyed this movie. In terms of my rating, I would give it a 4 out of 5. No, I'm playing. It'd be like I would say after the first watch, this definitely be like 8.5. Like if there's a very good start to the phase 6. Again, like I said in our last episode, I was like, Marvel, in my opinion, this is their last chance to get the Fantastic Four right, because you had at least something with the 2000s, and I think '05 was when that Silver Surfer movie came out, and then we're not even gonna
Yeah,
talk
like
about Fan
05 or
Forest thing.
07.
We're not even gonna talk about that.
That doesn't exist.
So it's like Marvel, Disney, Kevin Feige, you got one strike. You're on your third strike. So I think they did really good. In terms of my MVP, damn, it's probably either Herb or Franklin. Actually, no, it's either Herb or Mole Man.
I was
We
about
gonna
to say
get to
Mo
him
Man.
later.
Hey, we gotta talk about Mo
Mole
Man,
Man.
bro. Hey, Mo Man, bro. Guys, shout out to Mo Man, bro.
I
But
mean, the
yeah, I'll say
underliner.
it was really good.
I was gonna say, I'm going as far as my rating. I think I give it an 8 out of 10. And I was gonna sympathize with you about how the movie like that. You said exactly what I was trying to say, but I couldn't get my words together. But it gave the feeling that I got wasn't a Marvel feeling. It was more like a sci-fi movie. Like it definitely felt like that while they were in the space and doing all the stuff that they were doing. So, but yeah, 8 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I echo both of what you all were saying. I think Dana had a very good point that I wanted to raise because if we look at both of these films that came out this summer, I'm going to exclude Thunderbolts. We don't have to bring up Thunderbolts because Thunderbolts is in the past. But looking at Superman and also looking at Fantastic Four, like these movies were the ones that is pretty much like their studios, it's riding on their shoulders to see which way that the studios were going to go. And I felt like if Fantastic Four flopped, then there was going to be no hope for the MCU. We could have all this stuff for Doomsday. You could have all these different characters and stuff, but people were going to be tired of, the whole superhero genre as a whole. My original score was going to be like a 7 out of 10, but after like really digesting it and looking at other reviews and just my own experience after only seeing it once, and it'll probably be higher if I go see it again. It's an 8 out of 10, solid 8 out of 10. Love the movie.
Yeah, for me, a lot of the things y'all said, I said the same thing. I texted. I know Dana when I got out the movie, and Jeff. I was like, it was the same thing. I was like, this was definitely a sci-fi film. At least when I watched it, I had to take my head out of like the superhero space because I had to remind myself like the Fantastic Four. Essentially, they aren't superheroes. They're scientists. They're explorers. That's their whole stick. They have powers, so they do superhero stuff here and there, but they're essentially scientists. So when I viewed it as that after like a first few minutes, I was like, okay, no, this is a great sci-fi film. So um overall, I was the same thing. I would give it an 8 out of 10. If I had to view it as a superhero film itself, it would be a 7. If I had viewed it as a sci-fi film, I would say like a 9. So that's why I went with that 8 overall mark.
What was it that gave it that 9, that sci-fi? Was it the space scene with the Silver Surfer
It
chain
was,
or everything,
yeah,
all of
it
that?
was definitely that space sequence, because that space sequence, if I'm being honest, it reminded me so much of like Interstellar and other
Yeah,
space movies I've seen where I was watching. I said, this is probably some of the best space, like pure space sequences of a film I've seen. I think like I don't know ever, but it might be ever. I have to go relook at stuff, but it's up there like top two.
Yeah. I was like, I agree. Like, I kid you not, while I was watching the movie, I was afraid. Well, actually, hold on. This was spoiler stuff. So hold on, never mind.
Well,
I was
the reason I had my finger up because I'm like that's basically the end of our non-spoiler review.
Oh, okay.
So at this point in the thing, we're going full spoilers. If you have not seen this movie, please go watch it. Drop a like, comment, come back later because we're about to get into spoiler talks. But yes, please, Jeff. Well, just one thing to kind of hammer on those space scenes. We're just going to get into that. That was probably some of the best space sequences Marvel has done since
yeah,
Guardians.
yeah,
Since
yeah.
Guardians, in my opinion. Uh, I personally think unless they do Space Jammers, this is gonna be their like science group or like space group, like the
Mhm.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So, and yeah, that was like some crazy, like, especially. I hope I'm not stealing anybody's thunder by saying this, but like the scene where they're going through the wormhole
Yeah.
and they're shooting it, but the lights bending through and all that stuff. And I'm like,
That
you know what?
shit.
That's live. And what I also thought about was someone in the room thought about that. It took someone in the creative room raising their hand. It's like, you know what? Let's put some thought into this. Like, let's actually put some detail in this. Like, they're in a wormhole. This is light is gonna bend. So they can't just get no straight shot. Like, we can't. Let's eliminate the amount of movie of magical realism we got to put in here and make this audience like actually show that we thought about these things. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I gotta tip my hat to you, D. I gotta tip my hat to you, Matt.
Yeah, no. So like I like speaking of that scene and like when they were in space and trying to get back, like my brain at that point in the movie was like full on sci-fi mode. I was like, okay, so this is I didn't even think like this is like this as a Marvel movie at that point in the film. Like it made me forget that I was actually watching a Marvel movie. And so like there was that scene in particular made me think about Interstellar, and I was just like, oh my god, what if they don't get back? Like what if they lose 50 years, or what if they like I'm like I was thinking of all these crazy shenanigans that happens in most sci-fi movies, and I'm like, I was scared in in that way, like in most sci-fi movies that stuff like that happens where they lose that much time. And so, I honestly, that's the only question that I had in the movie by the end. Is like, well, no, after the second time I watched it, the question was answered. But first time I watched it, I was like, how did they get back so fast? And it was only like a month past. But then
Yeah.
I just wasn't paying attention. So, but yeah, but yeah,
I
no,
definitely was thinking that too because when, well, because my thing is when they got a caught in the black hole, I'm like, okay, they're pretty close to this. If it's gonna
Mhm.
take her a month to get out,
Yeah.
wouldn't that mean like for her it's like basically in and out? Like she can
Mhm.
bend through. Like for her, she moves so fast she can travel at the speed of light, if not faster.
You talking about Shallow Ball, right?
Yeah, shallow ball. So I'm like, if it took them a month just to get back to Earth, she right there on your ass. It's just gonna take her to get back out. But that's part, like you said, this is off the first watch. I'm sure if I watch it again, I was just probably wasn't looking hard enough or listening hard enough because there was a lot of shit going on. You got a woman giving birth in a space,
Yeah.
like you got a woman giving birth. You got Reed literally stretching his body and mind,
Yeah.
trying to
Trying to.
focus on
Yeah.
every different things. You got Sue like, nigga, if you don't like, I'm like, don't leave. But then you got Ben and Johnny trying to ask like, Reed, like I can't shake her. Those are just different things in the movie that I seen that was just like, okay, like Reed is the mastermind. People depend on him. Like he's not just there. Also, I really liked how they didn't show Reed. Obviously, we know he has stretching abilities,
I
but
was about to get
to
into
me,
that.
that's not his power. His power is his mind. Like
Mhm.
they really showed how smart he is. And obviously, like I'm sure it's pretty hard CGI, like VFX wise, to just have the nigga stretch it all the time.
Yeah.
But you know, I appreciated just
He
showing.
did.
Go ahead,
In
Jason.
my opinion, they didn't. That was the only thing that I really didn't kind of is that they gave him like very basic stretch ability. He was able
Hmm.
just to like, pull himself up and do stuff like this. He wasn't able, like in the other ones, he was able to stretch his entire body and cover somebody, like get into a ball type of thing. It was just very like basic. He could stretch from here to there type of thing. And I guess we could talk about that later. But there was also one part when Galactus was stretching in. I felt like that scene right there, I was just like, but he can stretch. How is it that
Mhm.
Galactus is about to like kill him? But
Yeah,
it's all of that.
I have a question for Dana in a second, but I was just also to respond to what you were just saying about Galactus pulling him. I actually had to go look up how far he stretches before it starts to hurt him,
Hmm.
and then online, some people were saying different stuff online, but one thing that said it was like as far as a football field. And I was like, well, Galactus is pretty huge, but like from what we were looking at, it looked like he
Yeah,
was only going like this far.
yeah,
So I'm like, maybe that was the length of a football field, you know, so because he's so big. But
yeah.
also, I was like thinking for Dana, I was like, what do you, I just want to hear your opinion, like, because you said, I agree with you about his mind being his power, but I also think, like, do you think that if he was a little bit more creative, he would be better at his stretchy abilities? Because I see the stretching abilities more as a creative type thing. And, like, he's very creative, but, you know, he's, like, intelligent creative.
He's
Like, he's, like,
very
trying to,
Yeah.
intellectual.
yeah, he's,
He's
like,
trying to
trying to
get from
solve
one point to the other.
problems. But I feel like if he had more of a fun and creative mind, his powers would be much more useful. Like I feel, like you see, I was just watching The Incredibles this morning and saw how Elastigirl would like turn her body into like a freaking, you know, a
Parachute.
parachute. And I'm like, I don't think Reed. Well, he probably would have thought of it as a solution, but he's not. He only reacts to problems. Like that's that. I'm thinking like if he was just had a more playful mind, I feel like his powers would be used in more creative ways. You know, but that's just my opinion. I'm like asking, what do you think?
Yeah, I think in this movie, and just as as a comic book fan, there's in terms of comic books, we know there's gonna be different interpretations of the same character for because of different writers and things like that. So I'm like, where in this iteration, in this run, like this movie with Pedro Pascal, I'm sure they wanted to portray him as like the Jonathan Hickman type of Reed Richards, where he's like he's thinking about everything. His mind is going nonstop. The dude can't even sleep because his brain going so hard, and He's literally trying to think of the problem, the worst possible problem. How can I stop that, or how can I like get to that? Literally a point A to point B person, and you kind of saw that in his powers. Like he wasn't trying to do no creative elastic shit. He wasn't trying to
Yeah,
do no creative type stuff. Whereas in the first movies, like with what's his name, like Ian
Oh, groove.
Mc
Yeah, yeah. I need to talk about. Yeah,
him, like you kind of saw a little bit of that creativity in that. So I think it's just a matter of different portrayals. You know, we're not gonna talk about John Krasinski because he literally had 15 minutes of fame. So, but I think what we seen, it was there a little bit. Like you saw the stretchiness, but
that was it.
I just
I think in I think for me with this read, the way he was processing stuff was one, it was they very much was trying to go in on the process that with Reed, he rejects a lot of I don't want to say ideas, but he rejects a lot of things unless it makes sense to him. So even when they were like, "How are we gonna beat this space god?" And he was like, "He's not a god. He's just a being that we don't know about, and I just have to
yeah.
study
Oh
it." And
yeah,
that goes into like the thing with how he's one of the few characters in Marvel that like rejects magic. He's like, "No, it's science behind this. I just have to figure it out."
mm,
And then there's like a run. I know they bring it up all the time. There's a run where he like they had to I forgot what was going on, but pretty much essentially they had to build a teleporter or something. There was like we can't build it. He was like, I'll figure it out. He just stretched his body and made like a teleporter. Like even though that shows creativity, it's just another way of showing how he wants to find the science behind something more so than you just give him the answer. So I think that's what they were trying to show with this one, more so than him being creative. It was just like, nah, I should be able to solve this shit like fast. And when he doesn't, that's when he has that frustration. Or when he does see a solution that he doesn't agree with, he's like, I know this is the perfect solution, but my mind accepts it, but I don't want to say my heart, but like my feelings are rejected. So now I'm in this conundrum. So like when he was talking with Sue, when she was like, "You already know the answer," and he was like, "I'll have to find a different way." She's like, "No, I know you went through all these processes and trials in your head. You know this is the only solution," and that's why he was all flustered.
yeah.
So I think that's one thing I really liked about Pedro's Mr. Fantastic.
Yeah, that conversation was tough. I'm not gonna lie. Like even the second time watching it, I was like, "Oof!" Like you can tell that they've been together for a long time, and like she just knows him in and out, and she knew like he already thought of the worst possible thing, and like I like how they explain. Well, he actually explained why he does that. Like he's like, "Oh, I do this because I don't want it to happen." So like she knew deep down that he already thought of giving away his child to save the earth. You know, so stuff like that, like to solve a problem. So man, I thought that was real crazy. But
Yeah, now that
yeah,
quote was, I had to write it down. I'm not gonna lie. When he was like, I always think about the worst. I always invite the worst things into my head so it doesn't hurt the people I care about. I know I
mhm.
butchered the quote, but that's essentially what he was saying.
Sounds good.
I heard that. I said, listen, let me lead in. Hold on. Nah, that quote was
Yeah.
crazy.
I was like, read, you dog. You're diabolical.
Speaking of diabolical, let's talk about like what Sue said.
Oh
That
my goodness.
shit-
When she was like, Johnny, kill her. I was
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
that
yeah,
was when I was like, oh my gosh. This
I
woman
was like,
is don't play. But then I'm also like, because part of it was, you know, I guess the argument people had when Multiverse of Madness came out, and they're like, what are the lengths? Basically, what are the lengths a mother is gonna go for their kids?
Oh yeah.
We've seen that. So a mother is literally gonna move heaven and earth to protect them that their children. They're like, I don't give a fuck if it's the end of the world. I'm not just gonna give up my son or my daughter. It's like, y'all, we all have mothers. We all know how much they love us. Now, on the other hand, these are some superpowered beings. So it's just like, and also in other portrayals, at least of the ones we've seen from Sue, we they didn't show her as a mother. So like we didn't really see, it was just her. Or just
Yeah,
especially in the first two, she was just
Yeah.
kind of there. Like
she was a
especially,
very
well, at
much a
least in the,
background character that
yeah.
they added in
And
with how they
then like
portrayed
again,
her.
we're not
So
gonna talk about Fan Forstic. A lot of that was just bad. But at least in the
I
first
was
two
sitting
ones,
there, I was sitting there looking around like Disney Marvel. Like,
no.
is this what we doing now? And
So
she
that's what I
said,
kind of
Johnny,
took from
kill
it.
her.
And then I also know they were trying to drop at least like inklings of her like alter uh like evil kind of persona
oh,
in the
Malice.
comics as well, Malice. But I just took it as like I say it was like 70% a mother's gonna protect her cubs, and 30% they're trying to implement, like they're trying to hint at Malice.
No, I loved at the end of how she was battling Galactus and how she mustered all that strength and all the powers and stuff. I said, oh, she didn't actually push Galactus. She's actually pulling him and actually doing that. Like, for some reason, in the back of my head, it was just like a mother's not just going to let their son or their child just go away with this intergalactic being. Like, she's going to do
No.
something to prevent him from just getting away. And I was glad to see that.
Yeah. Also, as that's happening, I'm like, okay, she's pushing him. He still got homeboy in his hands. So like, if he gets in his trailer, he's as good as going to. I'm like, where everybody at?
Mhm.
And I also think this movie did a lot of legwork, not only just for the Fantastic Four, but just putting another strong female character in Marvel again. Because Kevin Feige knows their strongest female superheroes are the ones they never owned in the first place,
Oh,
which was Storm,
yeah.
Sue Storm, or like, yeah, Storm, Sue Storm. You can argue Rogue, and yeah, it's really just those
Jean
three.
Grey,
And yeah, Jean Grey. Wanda,
the
she's a
strongest.
she's a five, but like they didn't own them. So they literally had to just be like, well, we got Miss Marvel, we got Captain Marvel. Well, and then they tried with Natasha and Wanda, especially in that in Infinity War scene with the three, they had. But now, since like I made that point earlier, Marvel's getting all their toys back. They're trying to like, okay, well, we know people are tired of the old kind of big three in terms of Marvel characters. Like, let's show them
Yeah.
who is really on like the top, like Mount Rushmore. And I think they did a really good job in this movie of showing like no, Sue is powerful and she's not to be messed with.
I'm not gonna lie. I really think that like Sue is powerful. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think she'll ever be able to reach that much power that she did in this movie. Under, I think she was only. I think that was like situational, 'cause, like like the mother strength or like that type of thing. Because compared to like other heroes, like I don't think she can hang with somebody like Scarlet Witch or Captain Marvel or Storm. But she is a powerful character. I just think that in this for this movie, I think they that she had a buff because of the situation that she was in. But also her power comes from the cosmic, so I don't know. I mean, like you never know. It's also just a comic book movie, so.
I'm pretty sure when they showed it, like this was just a foundation just to show like she has this capability. So whenever we get into Doomsday and the villain of that movie does whatever he does with Franklin or whomever, I think that that will come about again because we've seen it before. Then we know that she could do it again. Before we get into the whole the post credits and stuff, I just wanted to know, were there any point in time for y'all when y'all were watching the movie and the CGI was just like too much, like, or it was just like, dang, this looks fake?
Yeah,
Yes.
Which
I'll
one?
say mine.
Which one?
The when it was Eben Moss, the thing when he was walking up to I forgot her name.
The
I
It
don't know
was
woman.
why my mind.
Yeah,
homegirl from
Yeah, when he
the
when
yeah,
mosque
it
or
wasn't a Moss, it was a
whatever
Senegal.
Senegal. My bad.
When he walked
Wrong
up to
religion.
her,
My bad.
yeah.
when he walked up to her with the cookies, that was probably like the few one. It was maybe one other time, but that was the one time I said, "Damn!"
Ooh.
I said, "Y'all was doing good." I said, "Y'all was doing great," but this scene,
Yeah, it just looked, yeah.
For me, it was two times. It was but I couldn't really be mad at it because it was like such a like precious scene, like where the baby was first born and it was
No.
just the baby and the thing on the screen and it like we all know thing is CGI. The baby was like it was I think I don't know the knowledge behind. I mean I don't know what was true or not, but I don't know, maybe the baby wasn't CGI. But to me, it did look kind of unreal. And then also at the end with Galactus holding the baby, that to me that was like, I was like, but it wasn't really that big of a deal. Like I'm never the type of person that'd be like, unless it was like really really bad. Like in Lilo and Stitch, the live action, there was one part at the very end where it was a blatant mistake. But in this one, it just didn't. And none of it felt like it was any type of editing issues or editing mistakes. It was just like, oh, okay, it's CGI.
Yeah, they kind of hammered it home. Like it didn't. Nothing. Those were just like things that didn't take me out the scene, and or those are things like at the very end where it's like, well, they did like 95% of the legwork. Like maybe and like the movie just came out. I'm sure in
Yeah.
later weeks they'll clean this up and we won't even notice it
Yeah.
because they didn't have any like Brave New World scenes at the end where you clearly tell Anthony Mackie is not in that room talking to fucking Harrison
Harrison.
Ford. Like, oh my
Yeah.
goodness, that was egregious. Or like if some shit like that happened during the space Silver Surfer scene, shallow ball scene, that would have. I think that would have probably, probably would have been a bad taste in the movie because I'm like, okay, well, that's like a very intensive scene. Like everyone's paying attention as that's going. Like they cannot have no sort of slips in that. And if they did, it was probably so minuscule you barely even saw anything. You would have had to be looking. Before we, I guess, get into other things, I want to talk about Galactus in terms of just doing Galactus is already a big task in itself. And it's like, how do we make him? How do we make this big ass dude menacing? And I think this really just shows the progression of movies then and now, because it's like not even Fantastic Four. Like when the Silver Surfer came in, uh, Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern. When that one cloud came in, what was
Brainiac. That
no,
was
it
supposed to
was
be
someone
Brainiac.
else.
Who was he fighting?
Oh my
Uh,
god.
It was
Parallax. When Parallax came,
oh,
when he came, and it was just a cloud. Like, so we moved it just so we moved on from
Cloud.
we are too scared. Studios are too scared to do the thing, so we got to make him a cloud, and we got good VFX and good studios that are gonna take this bold step and put on like an intimidating and in menacing presence, which is
Well,
what Galactus was.
that was VFX and practical too.
What the whole?
Which
really?
it'll make
The Galactus that was
Yeah,
practical and VFX.
like there are some scenes you could tell, but it was just done so well. Like the scene where uh Galactus takes his first steps on Earth, and like you could tell that was like a mix of practical and CG. That was done so well, and then just presence he had. Like when he was on the screen, you were shook just as much as he was. Like when they first showed him, I'm like, how are they gonna do this? Are they literally just gonna have a floating man in space? But they're like, nah, they brought a ship in, especially when they first showed him on that planet, and then it just showed like his ship eating it. I was like, man, Unicron could never.
I don't.
Unicron is actually
I was
a
about to say a comment, but
a
I'm gonna leave that
play
alone.
a play on Galactus and his ship.
really?
Yes.
I was about to say a comment, but I'm not gonna talk about Transformers today, so
Oh damn.
I will leave Transformers out of this. Nah, Galactus. One thing I did want, I wanted more Galactus, man. Pause if needed, but more screen time with Galactus on there because yes, he was menacing, but it was just, and I think they did a good job though because with people saying they want to see more Galactus, it's now it has a, even though he should be back, obviously, it's more reason for him to come back. Um, but yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more Galactus because we only had like two real scenes with him. When they
Mhm.
first showed up to his ship,
And then
um, and then when he was on Earth,
yeah,
because the only other time was when he told Shalabal, "Bring me the child." Outside of those, so, but I think overall it was great for his character.
I love the
Yeah,
actor.
Ralph Innocent.
What else did he play in? Because I didn't know who he was.
Uh, he played in the Green Knight,
Uh-huh.
I believe.
He was also in The Witch,
Yeah,
Nosferatu.
Okay. I didn't know anything about this actor except when he spoke, like his voice, like his talking voice, whenever he's done interviews, like you could hear like when they were doing those press tours in the different countries, and then they would have those interviews with all the cast, and how whenever he spoke, like the audience would like gasp and like listening to what he was saying because his voice is just that like powerful. It's like one of those recognizable um what is his name? James Earl Jones, Morgan
hmm
Freeman type of voices and stuff. I love
Yeah.
the whole thing about like I guess this movie is I just wanted to see Galactus's face and to hear him talk because you never heard him or saw his like face and stuff in the trailers and I'm like why are they not showing him? Like I want to see like his face and everything. When he came up on like on camera and everything, I was sold. I loved it.
yeah. Especially the scale, because obviously Galactus is like tall as hell,
Yeah.
but even when they was on the ship, even when Silver Surfer, when Shalabar was like, "You're in the presence of Galactus," for a split second, I was like, "Where did it get?"
Yeah.
And then you just see the eyes gleam. I said, "Oh shit!"
Doom.
Yeah.
Just feeling that scale of the of like how small they were compared to him. I said, "Oh, he's literally like a space horror." Like I don't even know how to explain it. It was definitely some end of days type shit.
The Hunger.
The hunger.
But when I also thought it was pretty interesting, like when they basically like when they beamed him, and then Galactus's light shine immediately on Sue's pregnant baby
Uh,
or
hmm
pregnant belly. He was like, "Oh yeah, he trying to get that."
bro. Even
So, like,
even when Silver Surfer pulled up, it was like she pulled up. She said, "Y'all shouldn't have came here. I don't know what y'all thinking."
yeah,
You could just see like how disappointed she was.
Man, I'm
yeah.
not gonna
I
lie.
know. Like he was bad.
I watched a video on Galactus and his history, and just because I was just like, I've always known who Galactus was, but I was just like, I want to know more about him. And like I love how Stan Lee and Jack, is it Kirby? Jack Kirby,
Jack
Yeah,
or
Kirby.
Jack
what's his,
Kirby.
yeah, like that Jack Kirby got the idea from reading the Bible to create Galactus. Like he kind of like made him basically like he needed a new villain, but he wanted something like different at the time and something that not just like some random thug on the street or some, some gang or, kingpin or something. So he was like, I need something big. And so like he got the idea from God, and the fallen angel is like Silver Surfer. And I thought that was
I see
like,
that.
I was like, no, that's interesting. And then like, so I agree. Like I think I wanted more of Galactus, but I also like the fact that if they use more of his presence as something to
Mm-hmm.
just put fear into everybody, rather than like they're like, this is like when she came in talking about our hero Galactus, like everybody was like, who is that? Like, like it don't even like I think that they didn't really need to show him that much in order to put fear into everyone. But I didn't know how powerful that man that character really is. He he can eat like basically over Celestials. I'm thinking in Marvel in like knowledge, I'm thinking Celestials are like the big dogs, but like no, like Galactus is even over them. And
For sure.
so yeah, no, I want him to come back. And obviously I think he's gonna have a little bit more malice in him because he wasn't able to get the baby. So yeah. I think he will come
Yeah.
back eventually.
What they could
Oh,
do,
he will.
yeah, what they could do. I'm gonna talk a little bit about Silver Surfer right after this, but what they could do is him going through that portal with Silver Surfer hitting him. They could be like, hey, he was teleported to a different dimension. That's all you got to do. I don't need no explanation after that. Instead of he teleported across the universe, it just the power cosmic messed it up. But
Dang.
Silver Surfer, the reason I think, because the actress is Julia Garner.
Yes.
Yeah, Julia Garner. Her Silver Surfer, look, that's the best Silver Surfer. I'll say it now. That's the at least live action until we get another Norrin Rad. Every time she was on screen, I
Yeah.
said, "Hey man,
Well, yeah.
these scenes, cinematography wise, I said these are some of the like best scenes I'm seeing." And then one thing I did like too is that she was actually surfing on shit like the
Mhm.
lava, the freaking space dust when they was
Mm.
in the wormhole. Like every scene, you could tell that they were really trying to amplify one how strong she is because they never beat her and they maybe knocked her off the
They
board a few
really
times.
don't.
They
Like
they,
they
they
have
never
to.
they never hurt her. They never beat her. Every time she got knocked off the board, she was just like, "Bro, what are we doing?"
Yeah.
So I really like that, and then her dialogue in the movie too. It just really, to me, it really amplified one the Silver Surfer's character. How I think essential it is that you display them as lonely,
Mhm.
a lonely being in the universe, because even though they save the world, they can never go back and then they feel alone. So I really liked how they amplified that, especially at the end when Johnny was telling her, like, I'm just trying to save my planet. And he was displaying all the voices of one, her planet, and then all the other planets that she destroyed, kind of like bringing back, like, yeah, you might be alone, but these people weren't alone. So I really liked how they amplified that with her character.
Yeah.
And the board is, in fact, not a part of her body.
Yeah. It's not. No.
The board is in fact not a part of my.
It's
It
not.
wasn't a part of the '05 Silver Surfer body neither. But I to hammer home that like surfing part because I'm trying to remember was NORAD. We'll just say NORAD because we know NORAD refers to the '05 Rise of the Silver Surfers. Like, was he really surfing or was he just moving? Because I think I just remember him moving on the board. He wasn't doing no surfing shit.
The only time he really, I think I would say it was some surfing stuff was when he caught that missile.
But was he surf? Well, he got in a surfing stance, but he wasn't surfing though. Like she was literally surfing on bending like lava and shit.
Oh no, she was. But I'm saying I think that's the only time where I would consider him he surfed.
I could
That's
say
fair.
that when an actor does a really good job, it's like your reaction to them. I was when I first saw that they were gonna have a female Silver Surfer, I was just like, a lot of people are not gonna like this and everything. But there were two things that the first thing when she did her Herald speech, I kept
Mm-hmm.
listening to that over and over again. And
Bro,
basically, y'all need to say the things that you've been afraid to speak and love on y'all's loved ones because your time is short. I was like, damn, that sold me. But there was also another part in the movie where they were about to do like how they did in SpongeBob, take Bikini Bottom and take it to another place. But when they started firing off the little teleportation thing, I said, "Dang, they're really about to do it." And then Silver Surfer came in and just started
Oh
like,
my gosh.
bro.
I
That literally felt
gasped.
like a rug.
I was
I was
like,
like, holy
"Bro,"
shit.
my whole head just like went down and I gasped. I was like, I said, "Damn, they're about to lose." And then that's just, yeah, I loved it. I loved it.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was like one for a second. I thought it was like the one that they showed that wasn't on. I was like, that shit gotta be in Latveria. It dude
Bro.
just being a dickhead. But then all of them just started dropping. I'm like,
Yeah,
what the fuck? And then it showed Surfer just taking them out. Boom, boom. I'm like, damn. Dude, I was like, they lost.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Speaking of that scene, I hate to say it, but I feel like and this is gonna go into like the future of Marvel just a little bit, but I feel like their world is just too perfect. Like every world leader, that's just so unbelievable. Every world leader is like, let's work together and let's all do this so we can get, like no, that's just it's too perfect. And so I just know that just for that reason alone, that world is not going to survive. Like I'm sorry. I love the Fantastic Four, but and I love that movie, but I just don't think that world is going to survive.
They
Well,
turned
I
on them
think to
quick
your
though.
point, Jeff, I would think like that was kind of the I think intent, especially of this universe, like this 818 world that they're on. Like the Fantastic Four are literally like the
That's it.
Beatles. Like everybody loves them. When they talk, everybody listens. So it's like they just made the world so peachy and clean. If they tell me to turn my lights off, why am I gonna be the one out of
Right.
7 billion niggas on Earth to just be like, no,
Yeah.
outside of Victor? But
It re- it reminded me of because I know they did a crossover comic a while back with the Justice League and Avengers. It reminded me of kind of that crossover comic because when the Avengers went to the DC world, they were like, dang, they're like, why they worship everybody or why are they so nice to their heroes? And then when the Justice League went to the Marvel world, they was like, damn, why they hate it? Why they hate all the heroes? Like what the hell going on here? Like it was like that meme was like, damn, you living like this? It was like that. So it was really I think that one shows and amplifies how much of like they're trying to get back the feeling of this is a comic book movie.
Mm.
So take logic out of a lot of stuff. Like even when you see with Superman, it was like, look, we know metahumans are here. We starting a movie, just like how this one was. Like
yeah,
Jason, you said, um, we starting from point C. Now we're not starting from point A. We already know this stuff exists. We don't need the full blown backstories again. Let's just get to the point.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we've officially left the era of bringing superheroes or super beings like into the real world. Like those type of movies, if you look at early 2000s movies, each of them is like, oh, we're in the real world, but now we have Smurfs. Or are we in the real world, but now we're bringing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into it. Or the Transformers or like that formula of movie making I think is in the past now. I think they're just gonna be like, no, this is the world that we live in. This is we have superheroes and we have this and that. So I think I agree with that. Like I'm glad that we're moving on from that and we're having just straightforward. No, they've been in this world and everybody knows about them and they're actually celebrities. So yeah.
yeah, the Beatles. But
Literally.
We haven't talked about the one thing.
Oh, the end credit.
Yes.
Okay. No, we go right into that. So for the end credits scene, actually, I do want to say one Easter egg they did have in there. They had Timely Comics. When
Oh,
they showed
They did.
Silver Surfer coming down, they had Timely Comics.
well,
And
they
for
did.
people that don't know, Timely Comics was essentially is what Marvel was before Marvel, and it was in the '60s too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that was a little Easter egg they had, and it was made by Martin Goodman, I believe that's his name, something like that. Let me look. Yeah, Martin Goodman. So that's a little Easter egg. But now for
Also,
go
but
ahead, go
before
ahead.
we jump back in, and I just wanted to know, as I was watching the movie, why did they cut John Malkovich out of it? Even if they were just doing the montages of the villains and stuff like that, they could have still gave him a small part in there.
Yeah. So I know I read something where they said that it was I think either Matt Shackman said or somebody else said that, and I don't agree with it because you could tell they cut out like 20 minutes of this movie, especially a lot of like Johnny's and the things scenes
Hmm.
that they said for the story that they wanted to put that his scenes didn't fit, so they just cut it out. Um, but I think one thing that Kevin Feige and them needs to get away from is cutting out so much of movies. Because even in Superman, you could tell they cut out a few scenes too. Where I think these movies, while they are doing good now, where they're suffering, I think, is with some scenes that could be a little bit more impactful. They're cutting them out because they're just like, we want to stay under like a 2 hour time, or we want to stay below a 2:05 time. I'm just like, bro, we've been here for 2 hours. A 20 extra minutes ain't gonna change nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm all for longer movies. People like to say, no, we need to make them shorter, but I love a good long movie.
I don't mind long movies as long as the pacing,
Mm-hmm.
like if the pacing is there. Like if I feel the movie, no, some shit needs to cut out. Zack Snyder, I'm talking to your ass. But if if it's an F1 movie and it's just like nonstop do, like if I don't even feel that it's 2.5 hours, you got me that locked in this movie.
Yeah.
I don't have no problem with it. But if you was just putting in scenes, just to put in scenes, if you fluffing, kind of almost like the beginning of Sinners in a
Oh, I
little
was about
bit.
to say that about it. It took it forever to turn into night, bro. I was like, this is a long ass day. God damn. I was about to say the same thing, man. Like, damn, bro,
But it's like if it's like that, then okay. Like we understand we're in Delta, Mississippi, Delta South.
nigga,
We get it. Let's get to the nigga shit.
Oh my
bro,
god.
Let's get to the juke joint.
man, it took it like at least 45 minutes. I'm like, we still in the same day? Like, okay,
Bro,
bro,
that was a
Golly.
long ass day.
yeah,
Yeah.
That shit had to be on fucking June 20. That had to be on the summer solstice.
yeah,
Not gonna lie, I'm so glad I had seen somewhere Cougar was like, oh, this whole movie takes place in one day, so that like mentally prepared me for the fact. I was like, oh, thank God, because I would have probably had that same reaction, like, dang, what are we doing? Like, like,
I was like, it's
the
light still
longest
outside.
day,
Like
the
you could do the
longest
same.
day.
That just made me think like this is a complete tangent, but it's like you basically following some fucking neos setting up a party. Like that's literally neos getting shit for a party, or just some Greek niggas. Like, hey, let's go let the people know we got a function going on. Let's go get the ingredients for the juke. Let's
Going to
go get the
town.
flyers going. Let's go on the tap.
Now we're getting in the car. Then we got to go to town. Go ahead and talk to everybody in the town. It was a long day.
I'm gonna talk to my old bitch like, hey, and
I felt bad because when I was
ain't
in the
working
theater, I
out.
was just like, man, I said, am I the only one that thinks that this day is just long, or is it just like we're all on the same page? Okay, yeah,
But end credit scene. So or first mid credit scene. 4 more years pass. We get Sue Storm with Franklin at 4 years old now. Side note, that is an ugly ass baby. I'm sorry. That dude
no, I think
looked throwed
shouldn't he
off.
be 5?
Oh
Shouldn't he be
well,
5 at that point?
you're right. He about maybe 5 years old, I guess. Cause
Turn that
Word.
Now he
camera
be
on.
4 and some change.
because
He be like four in a
it
few
was a
months.
it was a time jump after they defeated Galactus, and then there was another time jump for the end credits.
It was like I thought they said it was like 4 months, or did they say?
Oh,
Wait,
when
or did
he
they say a year
No.
later?
because he was
Oh
in
yeah,
the
you know what
show
they?
in the show
Yeah,
Yeah,
because they were
like
trying
they
to
did
take him
say
it
it
to
was
was
like
show.
a
like
So
year
he was
later.
probably like
Yeah,
five.
they did
Yeah,
say it like a year later. Yeah, so
yeah,
he's
yeah,
five
so it
something.
should
He's
be
five.
about
five or
5 at
six.
that point in the end credit.
An amazing
Nah,
addition to
6
the
too old. I
MCU, to
think
say the
5
least.
yes.
Re- Regardless of his
Yeah.
appearance.
Regardless, he's in this boot. He's in this on the couch reading. So there's a lot of things going on. They were reading this one book. She's reading the two Franklin, and then it's done. And then Herb goes to pick another book for him. Then they show Charles Charles Darwin's, what is it, like the Book of Evolution, like species book, pretty
Something like
much
that. Yeah.
something like that, kind of hinting at mutations, because we know that was like a big thing with the mutant. Like, oh, this is like the next step of evolution. Also hinting at, I don't know if they're gonna dive into this. I think so because Kevin Feige wants to get a mutant so bad, it's not even funny.
It's his only
They're
saving
just gonna
grace.
make him a mutant. They make it everybody mutants.
Miss
They're
Marvel
like
immune.
fucking humans,
Yeah.
They
fuck
making mute.
it,
They
fuck
making nigga
Eternals.
mutants who was never mutants before.
Miss Marvel?
You're a mutant,
Kamala Khan. Okay.
but
All right.
you're the new Jubilee.
No,
Essentially. Yeah.
But so I think that was kind of like a hint to that. And then she goes, finds another book, a more fun book. She comes back, ominous music's playing. She starts to boot up. Her powers are turned on. Then we see a green hood and Franklin with a man bent down, caressing his face,
You ain't
and
gotta
the
say it like
mask
that.
in his hand. Mask in his hand, done. So, what are your thoughts? I'm gonna just get this off first because it's on my mind right now. But I have a theory. So, my theory is in that moment, you
no.
about
Go
to
ahead. Go
think?
ahead. Go.
But I say in that moment, I think they're gonna use the excuse of, oh, since Franklin got power cosmic and he's just, because we see he's not scared of him. He's just like, oh my gosh, look at this guy. And his face is healing his face as it's going. He gonna turn around. You got Robert Downey Jr.'s eyes lit up with the power cosmic. Boom. Reed Richards. Cause my thing is, you don't just get Robert Downey Jr. to hide that nigga in a mask for a whole time. You don't do that. So I think he's definitely Victor. He's been Victor this whole time. He's from this universe. His face has been scarred this whole time. But then I think he's been watching. Literally, he's just been watching in Liberia. They hinted at it the whole movie.
Oh,
They
because they weren't
have
there.
different World Conference meetings. He wasn't there, but he watching. So he's seeing all this go down. He probably sees something where, like, oh my gosh, like this
This
nigga
kid can do, yeah.
revived Sue. I need this baby. And just when they let their guard down, swooped in, looked like a thief in the
I was
night.
like, how did he get in there? I'm
So
like,
you
he just
think
chilling.
So I
honestly,
think my theory is, I'm gonna just finish this theory and then give it to the floor. But my theory is he heals his face. Franklin is like, I like Buddy. I like Uncle Vic. So I'm gonna just go with Homeboy. And he's trying to save the world. I want to do that too. I want to be like you guys. Whole time they just causing incursions everywhere.
okay. Yeah, no, I
And
agree
they're
with you.
chasing them.
I think honestly that route kind of makes sense to me, but you never know with Kevin Feige. But to me that like the way you described it, I'm like, yeah, that's kind of the route I think Disney would take or like allow them to take because it reminds me of the Tangled movie. Like the old old I forgot her name, the mother that stole the baby using her to stay young or using her magic to stay to stay young. That reminds me of Franklin, like healing his face. And but with his comic powers, but cosmic powers. But yeah, no, I think I was kind of disappointed that I wanted to see a face, but I was like, man, I know RDJ is a little bit expensive, so they they probably didn't want to put him actually in the end credit scene. But
Yeah, that definitely was not him in that. That was
yeah,
some
it
random
definitely
ass
It
wasn't.
extra.
was him.
But
It was him. It was definitely him.
No, it wasn't.
That it was him.
Stop it.
It
It
was
was
him.
it was him because Shackman,
It was
Matt
him.
Shackman, he did an interview just like I think a few days ago, and he was like, "Oh no, that was RDJ."
It was
oh,
him.
was
Granted, he
it?
could just be saying that, but he could just be saying it to say it. But he said, at least he said that was his doom.
Where was okay? Because
That's his
I'm
dude.
thinking,
But was Robert Downey Jr. in the room
I'm sure he
where
with
was
the
was.
hood
Shackman in the
on?
I'm
There
theater?
like,
was
I'm
No, he
like,
when
wasn't.
the movie was being made like a year ago, there was somebody that they were sneaking in into they had to have like a cloak or something to cover the actor's face. I don't know who it was that they were trying to cover up for the scenes and stuff like that. But I honestly think that the scene could have been better if they would have just panned the camera. He turned and it was just a corner of his face. It's like, damn, that's him.
Yes, yes,
I just need to
yeah.
see
yeah,
his face.
I promise you, every theater would have been screaming, hooting, and hollering if that
And we
happened.
had that.
Like for
How
real.
was y'all's theater when that happened? Because we know
I,
I live in a small town. Wasn't no hooting and hollering in that bitch. So why was y'all's theater like when that
I was
happened?
the only one
There was
hooting and hollering. I'm the only one in there like.
it was like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I could. Yeah, I have it recorded. But yeah, it was some jubilation from various people in the crowd. I won't say anything else because I
yeah,
don't know what kind of jubilation it is, but you could tell from which type of the sounds that were made in the theater, which crowd it came from. But yeah, people were happy.
yeah. I'll say, yeah, that first viewing, like same as Why So Serious said, they were definitely happy. The second viewing I went to, I'm not gonna lie, only like one person reacted. They was like, "Oh," like everybody else in the theater was kind of like silent. A few people clapped, but overall, I will say that second viewing, though, people they weren't reacting to a lot of this stuff that like at least the first viewing, like the jokes and stuff, they weren't really reacting to. It might be a few people laughing. I was laughing still. I didn't care, but they weren't reacting as much. But for that end credit scene, I think one route I think they're gonna do. I'm like 90% sure they're gonna do it now. Is one I think they're gonna try to do or have Doom a little bit more how he originally was supposed to be until they rejected the idea in the comics was he originally wasn't supposed to be that scarred up. He only had like one single scar on his face, but he wore the mask because he was such a like perfectionist that he was like, nah, people can't see this. So I think they might do some stuff like that where he just had like maybe one blemish, one real like scar. On some really, I think reason I think they'll do that because I think that amplifies how much of like a how much Doom just views himself as like I'm supposed to be like the perfect
Oh, he's a
being, damn
narcissist.
near.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I think they're gonna do and how this leads into the next movies, because the only movie we have right now next is the Spider-Man one, and I personally don't think that's gonna tie that much into Doomsday, like at all.
I thought
Like,
Doomsday was next. No.
It was
Well,
supposed to
they
nah,
delayed
be,
it.
but they delayed it to
Um,
December. It was supposed to be Doomsday, then Spider-Man, but then they delayed Doomsday to December.
oh
yeah,
Lord,
because
I
they
don't.
still,
I'm not. I do not want Spider-Man in this Doomsday mess, man. That's my favorite superhero. Like, I don't want him to get
Be
like
prepared.
leave him out of this. Like,
Well,
please. Like,
because no, I
he not
think
gonna be in there.
I think Doomsday, Brand New Day is literally just gonna be boots on the
Standalone.
ground
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Spider-Man movie.
just
with Hulk
yeah, it's
in the
but
just
You're gonna
scenes.
get
still,
like
street
a
like.
level.
We got
Even still,
Punisher
like
and
his
Hulk.
movie, if his movie leads into the next movie will be like Doomsday. I'm like, bro, he is going through enough. Like, please let him live his life.
But that's
Like,
Peter though. That's Peter though. Peter, he never catches a break. Just when you think he
yeah.
catches a break,
There's no break.
boom, MJ
The
is
next thing,
turned into vapor.
all right,
Oh dang,
I
we
would
ain't got to
rather for
say
him
that.
to show up. I would rather for him to show up in Secret Wars, but I would like, if me personally, I would just, this is how I would want it. I would want all the newer characters and stuff that they've added since Endgame to be in Doomsday, and
Mhm.
then like let Peter come back when Secret Wars and all that happens. So then they can get messed up real bad in Doomsday.
I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's even gonna be in Doomsday for real. Because what I think they're gonna do is with Doom. I think the way the next movie is gonna start off is gonna start off in the Fantastic Four universe,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then what they think they're gonna essentially be doing is running from Doom. Something's gonna
yeah,
happen. They're gonna be running from Doom.
Wait, running
Um,
from or running to? Because I
yeah.
running
think
From.
from because I think they're gonna be. I think
From
Doom is gonna try to get Franklin, and they're gonna be trying to get
Have to
away from
escape or something
Doom,
because he was in the
and
they were in the
then
Thunderbolts.
yeah,
yeah,
because it's not like Livy voice. So they're gonna be running from Doom. So I think from there, if Doom does get Franklin, and even if he doesn't, Doom is gonna be taking other characters,
mm-hmm.
right? Because even in Battle, no, was it Secret Wars, Battle World one? I forgot which one. But when he was God Emperor Doom, he had his own cabal, his own team, whatever. I think that's what he's gonna be building. And then when we do get to Secret Wars, it's gonna be definitely the MCU's version, but we're gonna have that branch into essentially Battle World altogether.
What is
So I think once
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
go ahead.
I'm just trying to see where the X-Men and everybody else fits into this.
For that, I think that he's gonna be taking different characters from just different groups,
So everybody
essentially.
from like the X-Men, I mean the Fox X-Men, they're basically that whole universe is just gonna be destroyed.
I don't know about Destroy, but I can see him taking some key characters,
You just don't touch Storm.
like whether that's the anchor beings he's taking and trying to use, or whether that's just powerhouses. Like I could really see him. I can really see that nigga scooping up Sentry and brainwashing him. Like I don't say easily, but easily. I can see him taking Sentry. I, I can see him taking a few other characters that are kind of like, I won't say on the fence, but like have kind of taken back burners in stories.
Well, did y'all see those leaks that came out? When was it? Like earlier this year or last year when they had like a what was it like a Sheriff Strange that was next to him, and then there was like a
Mm-hmm.
it was like different stuff. Do you think any of that is gonna come
the
to pass?
concept art.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it was like Battle World concept,
yeah.
damn near. Well, Secret Wars. I'd be forgetting
I don't know, but I
which
was
one
just
comes from.
like,
Was it
yeah.
Battle? Okay, you got
The
it.
thing is, I think from now on, I think whenever these Marvel movies are gonna be made, I'm gonna need to stop like reading everything on the internet, like these different theories, and then like people who got like an insider to like these to like the post credit scenes and stuff, because what I read about like Doom being in the post credit scene was exactly what happened, that this person described it to the T, except they said that
Oh
Franklin
shoot.
was in a crib or something. Sue walks out
Hello.
and then she walks back into the room and then Doom is there like basically petting the baby. Or not petting, but like trying to get the baby. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah. But I will say, like overall though,
Oh no.
and like I'm excited for Doomsday, but at the same time, I'm just like
you're over.
I don't know how to describe it. Not over it, but I really don't know how to like describe the feeling. Like I'm a little bit excited for it, but at the same time, I'm just like there hasn't been that much build up where I can feel like I should be overly excited outside of just them throwing nostalgia at us.
And just to like,
There
oh
hasn't
look,
really
oh
been,
Wolverine is here. Wolverine's back and he's with Deadpool. And oh, we got yeah,
yeah,
yeah. And then the cherry on
yeah,
something
like
Doomsday. Yeah.
yeah, like outside of nostalgia, it hasn't really been that much build up where I'm just like, yeah,
I honestly don't know what they're gonna do because there really hasn't, like you said, been much of a build up. I would love to see how they end or just kind of taper off or just cut Kang's storyline out or they got to resolve that somehow. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but it would be nice to see Kang, Jonathan Majors specifically. But I know that he's probably done and all that, but I don't know what they're gonna do.
because high key that Thunderbolts in trailer scene was good, but I don't think it it would have hit better if Thunderbolts came after Fantastic Four.
But both of
Me
those credit
personally.
scenes were filmed by the Russos. So I'm honestly believing that those are actual scenes from the actual movie. It has to be. Like just how they did, when was that? Was it Civil War when they had it was one movie that they had way back when and it was an actual scene from the next movie or something. So I think
Hmm.
that these were actual scenes from that. But we'll see. We'll see.
So my theory on how I think Doomsday is gonna start. Also, before I get to that, Jason, I agree in terms of like kind of staying out from the insiders, but all the theories because I think I'm all in the theory shit because theories is literally just someone being creative or
Yeah.
someone saying, "Well, this happened in this book, so maybe they're gonna do this, whatever." Da, da, da. So my I guess theory or idea of how I can see them starting off Doomsday is like it starts off pretty much right where we left off at the end of Fantastic Four. They're saying, it's them kind of doing a standoff, them as in like Sue and Victor, and then Franklin's in there, and then Franklin decides. Like he doesn't just swoop him. Franklin decides, like chooses on his own merit to go with Vic. And
Mm.
then he goes off. And then it's the Fantastic Four chasing Doom into like they're using because my thing is I think the Russo brothers are trying to simplify the like Jonathan Hickman and Time Runs Out storyline. Instead of like using Molecule Man,
Mhm.
they're just gonna use Franklin as the
You know what's
person.
Oh, that's
crazy?
it. Okay.
I who did I tell that to? I told that to Jax. I was like, I said that there. I said what they could do instead is, I said the same thing. I said them trying to put in Molecule Man, that hoe would not work this fast. I said they could just throw Franklin in that bitch and Doom got him locked up.
Yeah, or it's literally like because I'm saying Franklin is just a kid. He's just trying to do good, or like he don't know better. So he is probably Vic like, hey, like I'm trying to save the universe. You trying to come with me on some like
I'm your uncle. Yeah.
Pennywise type shit? He's like, hell yeah, I'm trying to be a hero too.
You'll float too.
Let
Shit.
me ride it. So it's Franklin thinking he's doing good, Victor deceiving him, but whole time they just destroying planets, and it's Vic like, hey, like these are planets full of bad people, like they need to go, and like
Mm.
I'm the one, like your parents they don't understand you, like I do, I know how to tap into that potential. Your father, no, like listen to Uncle Vic, listen to Uncle Doom, and you gonna be right.
I think
So
I
it's
think
basically that.
I think that could
Yeah,
possibly that could be a good like possibly it could possibly happen. I just don't think that I don't know. Like me personally, I think Franklin is loved too much to really just go full evil, like you said, without really knowing. I mean, I think if he gets influenced, then yeah, but I'm trying to put myself in a kid's perspective, but at that age, I'm thinking like the most important thing to them would be their family. And so I would feel like it would have to be Franklin would have to feel a sense of danger for the Fantastic Four rather than for the universe. Like I don't think he would be like, "Oh yeah, let's go save the universe." Like this, buy this story that
yeah,
Doom would sell him. I would feel like it would have to be like Doom is like your family is gonna die if you don't do this, something like that.
yeah. And I also think it depends on how they're trying to portray Doom. Are they gonna portray him as a tragic character and make the audience like sympathize with him? Or are they
Mhm.
gonna make him
I hope not.
evil and be a dickhead? And it's like, no. It's just manipulative and slimy and all that. It depends on what they want to do. They can do one or two things. So I agree. I hear what you're saying and I can agree with that. But that's my theory, and it's just the family and Sue on her mama rampage. Like I'm getting my son back. Like we just fought off fucking Galactus. I'm be damned if I let this little ass nigga take my son, take my son, and across the multiverse.
Yeah.
And
Also,
then they still got Galactus' ship in the sky. Like Galactus is somewhere else. His ship is still in Earth's
Oh
orbit.
Lord, just
So
like
maybe
that thing.
Doom
Yeah.
went in that ship and is using, you know, somehow just was able to
Oh,
use that ship
Galactus
to kind of
technology.
Galactus technology to kind of use his own bridge and then just travel across the universe, like you said, picking them up or and also picking universes up on his own team, which is how because I think how we enter in the Fox X-Men universe, he goes to that universe and picks up Magneto and then somehow they bring in that universe. Because my theory is you have Fox X-Men in the 616 universe fucking up the 616. All the humans, this is their first interaction with mutants. They're like, hold on, who do y'all niggas think y'all are? Coming in my house, eating my food, or like just fucking up all shit. Like, who do y'all think y'all are to just say your world takes priority over mine? Which is how we get mutant hate. So they leave the mutants on Earth on 616 to deal with what the Fox universe did, and then now they're just like, well, we see what these mutants did over here. We get like a William Stryker or something like, hey, we see what these mutants did over here. Like, these people are a menace. We got to get rid of all of them. So that's how we get mutant hate in the 616.
I've been theorizing how mutant hate is gonna come in eventually, and I agree. I think I'm ready for it because I really think 616 or I mean 22999 whatever name it is for basically main timeline MCU. I really think the humans in there gonna be the most racist towards mutants, but we gonna see. But I'm sorry, Jason. Go ahead. Oh
No, you're
yeah.
good. I was just trying to see like how, or if y'all thought about like if they were gonna bring back, because I was reading something that they were bringing back like Chris Evans and them to play like these people that are gonna help like Doom, and I'm just trying to see how do y'all think that that's gonna happen or how that would happen.
That would be interesting.
They could be like what, Captain Hydra and
Yeah, I think it'd be like Captain Hydra. Who was it they say? Like maybe like a Hyperion that's just played by Chris Hemsworth, and then Ian McKellen Magneto, and somebody else. And then he literally could just pull up in that bitch and with his goons, with his guys, and just like these are we're coming to fuck y'all up, basically.
Yeah.
Actually,
they ain't even gotta show him doing it.
I would want to see that. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, especially Magneto. He's my favorite villain, and I want in that version. I need to see that. I need to see him going all out, just evil, killing, wrecking everything. Like I want to see that actually.
Because we saw him on the rollout. He's in this movie. I think he's on that cabal with the people we just named. And
yeah. I just hope
they're
that
finna fuck shit up.
They filmed their scenes already.
they haven't.
What, Ian McKellen and them?
Nah, I'm just saying. You know what? I think they're doing a lot of one, they already said the script's not done. We know the script's not done. I think the one reason the script wasn't done either is because I think it's kind of like, I think a lot of these studios have got reactionary where they're like kind of cautious with scripts now, in the sense of if the movie beforehand doesn't do good, that they're like, okay, we got to change the script. But now that Fantastic Four is doing good, I think they're changing some stuff now too. That's me. That's my personal viewpoint on it. I don't know.
They were either going to try to bring out like a Fantastic Four 2 type of thing. That they were either going to start like it was going to be in pre-production type of thing. Because even before this even like came out, like just the early reactions, it was like, oh, we're going to go in this route type of thing. So we'll see.
We'll see. I think because my thing is, not only is the script not done, it keeps changing. But the Russo brothers have done this before. Like they did this with Infinity War and Endgame. Like as those movies were getting filmed, the script was changing.
Yeah, but
all the time.
But this is a completely different type of movie. You have to deal with a whole lot of. You have to tie up so many loose ends. You have to talk about like Kang, the different multiverse type of thing.
No, you don't.
Yes, the hell you do.
No, you don't.
Because I'm asking questions.
I'm telling you, they don't.
Yes, the hell they do.
I'm willing to put a wager on this
the reason
shit.
They have to talk about Kang solely because
they don't.
Yes, they
Kang
do.
was complete.
They 100% have to, because Loki is in the story, and Loki is the most intricate part of Marvel right now, and he dealt directly with Kang. You can't just say, "Oh, Loki, how you been?"
Nah, I think
you have to tie.
I'm telling
you have to tie.
I'm telling you, they're going to do that.
I'm telling you.
On July 27th, 2025. No, they gotta talk
No,
about
they
it.
don't.
They gotta talk about it.
You have.
Nah.
You can't just
Kang
you
is
can't
I'm
go
not
over
black.
saying
that.
you got to talk.
Because
For
with
like 10
Loki,
minutes. I'm
Loki
not-
already
no, no.
squashed it. Loki
Yeah,
already
I'm not-
squashed
No,
it.
he
We
didn't.
got God Stories Loki.
I'm not saying
Kane
you have
is
to
out of
talk.
here.
No, I'm not saying you have to talk 10 minutes about Kang, but you have to. He's
Tie it
gonna
up.
be mentioned. You have to tie in that.
Only way they gonna
Because
mention him is like
even with the TVA, even when he went to
Loki
the
owned that shit. He owned it. He owns the whole thing. Kane is done. The only way they talk about Kane is literally in a sentence. Doom says, "Yeah, he's basically like he's nothing to me. Like swatched. It's literally some like he's shitting on him. There's no.
Yeah.
It's literally one line.
Yeah.
I don't
After
even think they
time,
go that far.
they
Yeah.
gonna have a few sentences about him.
Like maybe
No, they're
Loki
not.
might say, man,
They
I
have
thought
to.
maybe Loki might say like, man, I thought Kang was like that big dog, and then maybe Doom gonna be like Kang, you know, like kind of like laugh at
Loki
him.
know damn well he don't believe that shit.
Yeah,
Loki knows
I
all.
don't know.
They need to bring him in.
No, they're not gonna talk about
They
Kane.
need to tie in
Actually,
the
I
loose
hope they
ends.
don't. For Jonathan Major's sake.
For
They
Jonathan
going
Major's
to
sake, that they
because
need to. He's on the up and up. He didn't.
No, he
He
don't
done did
need to
his
be back
time.
here.
He done did his time. He
No.
done married Megan Good. He probably done got her pregnant. He been talking about it and stuff like that. He's on a pristine tour, a press tour of doing
Yes.
well. Of doing well.
Yes, I
Bring him back
agree.
in and
No.
bring him back in for a little bit, tie in the loose end, and then get rid of him. Type of thing.
Just for him to get slanted? No.
You got
I don't
to-
want
I
to see
would
that.
I'm
not.
tired.
Personally, I
Bro.
don't want to see that.
Bro, see, this is
That's just
disrespectful.
Marvel has
That's
a tendency.
disrespectful.
Marvel has a tendency to always try to like, oh, the audience won't remember this. Like when they left the damn, what was it? What was it called? The big
The
statue, the
Celestial.
Celestial in the middle of the ocean. Then you had to come in.
Yeah, Tiamat.
Yes, and then when you brought it up, like, oh, Galactus' ship is still in space, like it's still there, type of thing. Like I didn't even think about that, but I'm like, oh, it is. Like the ship didn't go with Galactus; he just got pushed through the portal, so his stuff is still there. So Kang needs to be resolved. It has to.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Honestly, man,
Look, man,
maybe
we
they
can
did
agree
do
to
that scene
disagree.
with him,
All I
but,
know
like
is
they in the Captain America
It may
4
not be a
movie.
long conversation, but he gonna be mentioned because Doom is 100% walking up to Loki when Loki's in that chair.
And ain't shit gonna be said.
That's 100% gonna
Oh my
happen. Doom is gonna
goodness.
see Loki in that chair, and something's gonna happen.
I agree,
That's all I know.
but that can still happen without name dropping
He who remains.
He Who Remains. Any of them. Victor Timely. He's not gonna mention not one of them. I agree. That scene probably will happen or some iteration of that. You can still do that with no Kang mention of Kang. They're not gonna do that.
They need to.
Kang will not be mentioned
It's
in
okay.
this movie.
Okay. I'm gonna go on an no Kang slander campaign because he did good. I loved He Who Remains. So
I'm not saying
I
he didn't do
understand.
good. I'm
No,
just saying
it's
with how
okay.
they
I get
shitted
it.
on him.
I get it. Kang is no more.
It's okay, Dana.
We
We know
get
how you
it.
feel.
Yeah, that ball just was
I'm just-
ready to can him.
We know why.
Come on,
We know why that was. It had nothing to do with that. Never mind. Well, that's another podcast. Right now.
Oh,
But-
man.
With that being said, this was a very, very, very good conversation, some good dialogue, some good theorizing. All in all, since this is a review, we will not do any like or redacted. I don't have a get or bad question unless you do, Feek.
Nope.
So we'll just go into our redacted. Actually, I have one small one. Better superhero family, Fantastic Four or The Incredibles?
You can't do that.
Fantastic
You
Four
can?
solely because the Incredibles are based off of them.
I don't know, man. Incredibles are
They're pretty good.
pretty
Yeah,
fantastic.
No, they're great.
they're amazing. Yeah. Love
You
Fantastic
might even
Four.
say they're incredible.
More fantastic.
Incredibly fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah. Oh wow, there are a lot of because they had a baby. Dang. I forgot about
Yeah.
like Jack and then Franklin Richards. There's a lot of parallels with that, but yeah,
Yeah. The only difference between them is Dash doesn't have fire like Johnny.
yeah.
But everybody else, Mr. Incredible is the thing.
Oh, and then the
Mrs. Incredible is Mr.
Mole
Fantastic. The
Man,
daughter is Sue. You got Mole
the
Man. Everything else,
Underminer.
all this stuff is the
Oh,
same.
dang. I did want to pose one question. Out of or now that the summer is wrapping up, unfortunately, we're moving closer to the fall. Which superhero movie did better, Superman or Fantastic Four?
Oof. Um, for your question, Jason, which movie did better out of Fantastic Four, Superman?
Please, Wolfie, please let me respect you, man. Don't piss me off, man. Please, I'm asking for both of y'all, man.
Which movie did better?
Did
So
better.
I will say this for a superhero
No,
film.
don't
I
make
enjoyed.
don't no. Oh, take off.
Nah, but as speakers,
No,
hold on. I'm gonna answer the fucking question. I'm gonna answer the fucking question. I think the better movie is Superman.
Bullshit.
Here's why. Here's why.
Okay.
Because Superman is, in terms of, I'm not even gonna do that. Fuck the discrepancies. I just think they're both really good. One is setting up a universe. The other is basically on the tail end of one. And for the legwork Superman had to do, this movie had to do in terms of setting up a universe. You gotta create this world, have us care about this super person, this Superman. You got to talk about real world issues. You got to introduce us not necessarily to his origin, because everybody knows who Superman is. Why do we care about him? Why do we care about his life, his story, his struggles? Does he even struggle? He has every fucking power. So they show all that. They introduce his world. They're doing all these different things. I understand the stakes in Fantastic Four were a lot higher because whereas the Superman, he's just dealing with like the Earth was about to shake, but it was basically Lex, like in world issues. Fantastic Four, they're dealing with stuff predating the beginning of the universe and shit. But that's why I would, if you had to nail me to an answer, I would say Superman because of the amount of legwork and setting up it had to do for its universe. And whereas the Fantastic Four, I think the only real responsibilities or like expectations had was making sure. But as that's happening, as um as one is set up a universe, like in terms of Fantastic Four, the only expectations they had was just making sure people know, like, realize how much of a family they are, and understand like we can still do space odyssey shit in the MCU and all that stuff. So that's my answer. I'm sorry, brother. Serious.
Okay.
If you don't respect me anymore,
It's okay. You were up there, then
I still love you.
it just dropped down. Like so Jeff
Drop.
Yeah, it just kind of dropped a little bit, but it's okay. I'm not gonna be biased. It's not because of the whole DC versus Marvel thing, but it is. The question, Jeff, was about which movie did better, Fantastic Four or Superman. Which one did you like more? Were we going to Wafik?
Man, so look.
But, listen. Don't do it.
No, let me
because
talk.
if we're talking about the story, about our family, the family aspect, and the togetherness, of course, we're gonna give it to fan.
No.
Just
Both of them did have a black hole.
Hey, look.
Oh, they did.
That is one thing.
Shout.
Both had a freaking black hole, and then all characters were able to escape, so they got that in common. But for a purely superhero film, Superman did better. For a pure film, outside of soundtrack, Fantastic Four did better.
You know,
because I'll say Fantastic Four's original soundtrack was good,
okay,
but the way James Gunn uses music in movies, I think that's top tier. But I would say
just say overall. Let's take out the
overall.
Yes, overall. Which one?
Overall, ooh,
How many times did you see Superman?
All right, bro.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking. Okay.
I think it was.
All right, all right. I'll say
God.
overall movie. Fantastic Four.
Blessings.
And you know what? Really, the really only reason I would say that is purely the space sequence
Okay.
that puts it over. So I would say, yeah, if I had to rank them, yeah, Fantastic Four would be 1A, Superman would be 1B, and the margin is like a point one of a point.
How would you rank all of the superhero movies for this year?
Oh, Fantastic Four, Superman, Thunderbolts,
Captain America.
Captain America.
Basically, same order. I had to
Really,
put
the order they,
Superman. Just
Superman
I'm
is
yeah,
like,
close.
in my opinion, if like it's kind of tossing. Like
yeah,
it's like 1A, 1B. They're right there.
yeah. That's on
Thunderbolts
mine.
is right under that, and then
And then we got
Brave New World.
Hulk, Captain America under all that.
Don't get me started on that.
Okay. Okay, so the question that was
Yeah.
posed, which movie was
What?
better, Superman or Fantastic Four?
Superman had the better experience. It really felt like a superhero film, like just straight through. But Fantastic Four is just a different movie. I really can't compare them, to be honest. It's just a totally different movie. I can't say one is better than the other. I'll just say that if you want to go in for a superhero movie, then go watch Superman. If you want to go in for a family movie, then watch Fantastic Four. And to answer y'all other question that I tried to answer about Incredibles or Fantastic Four, I'm biased. I'll take Incredibles because I grew up with them. I think they're a better family, in my opinion. But I don't care. I'm biased. I don't care what y'all say. I'm biased. But I love the Fantastic Four. It's just I will take the Incredibles just because they're kids, and whenever they have like crazy shit happening and their lives are actually on the line, it feels a lot more intense. I don't know. I can't. That's the only reason why. But yeah, Superman and then the Incredibles. Thing I sound like I hate Marvel right now. But yeah, those are my answers.
You don't hate Marvel, you just love Disney. But
Yeah.
I just basically say the Incredibles too. So I think we're split 2-2. With that being said, it's been a great movie review for the Redacted Show. Thank you, Everything Movies. Thank you, Mr. WhySoSerious, for coming on today. If y'all have anything to plug before we close out this episode, please plug your channels, plug your content at this time.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram and TikTok and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post the most on YouTube at Everything Movies YT. Don't forget the YT because that'll be the fastest way to find me. But you can also just type in Everything Movies and I might pop up. Same thing on, like I said, TikTok and Instagram. So Everything Movies.
Yes, I don't have anything to plug, but you can follow me on social media platforms at Mr. WhySoSerious, soon to be Dr. WhySoSerious, but for now, Mr. WhySoSerious. Looking forward to all things that are coming out next year. Looking forward to Eyes of Wakanda. Going to see what Wonder Man is talking about. And as always, I hope that Marvel discontinues and stop utilizing Aquafina as a character.
And last thing, I'm gonna say redacted rule for the pod. Uh, go take a hike. Like some of y'all just need to go take a hike. And what I mean by that is just go outside of your comfort zone and explore. Go explore. Go look at some shit you wouldn't look at. You know, whether it's nature or explore the area you're in. I'm sure even if you've been living in that area that you call home for X amount of years, there's something about that area that you probably haven't touched yet because you know you're going on your normal routine. So just go take a hike.
And with that being said, thank you all for coming on for this review. And like we always say, like, comment, subscribe, share it. And it's your boy Wafik.
It's your boy Day to Day. And we out.
And we out. Peace.
Recipes call me, I'ma show 'em how to shoot. On the 4-5, jump in and ask my crew. Yeah, I'm stepping with a fat, keeping all of the hoes on mute. Pull a little part, could be yellow with a brew. 48 for a quick burst. Crazy 8s in the back, yeah, the trunk on hot like a cube. 40 on me when I'm in the backseat. Blotter, paper pre-cut. Chris make juice, it'll drop like ink. Chain came with a clean plate, came with a sink. The Peritor came with a mink. Tricones white like paint. My hoe by the hoe, cause she know it's my king. Hit on my side, cause I drop a song. Think you should hit up the link. The phenotype came from the pink Colombian thing. Yeah, the genetics unique. Cellular right on the beat. I'm teaching the hoe like I'm Play-Doh. I got the veggies like by the tomato. You got a Mexico making Alfredo. I put a bag on a hold my payroll. I get active at night, then I lay low. The salmon was breaded with panko. Struck in my soup, I believe it was Mako. Got my Soviet clutching the Draco. It was bacon, we taking your cake though. I got the tree like a poplar. Banko.